Well, we started on a new project today. We are up the road at the new neighbor's place, and I'm actually really excited to be part of this project. The plan, the big plan, and you'll learn a lot more about this over the years, so I hope to make more videos as we go. But the long plan is he's going to be building his house right in here. This clearing, by the way, it's kind of funny, just in the time that we've lived here, for 3 whole years that we've lived here, a different guy bought this place. It's 15 acres. He bought it and logged out, I think he said that's the back property line, but of course he's got all the trees out here along the road, if you guys can see. It's about a 7-acre clearing, but he logged it out, sold the timber, and then turned around and paid a guy with a dozer to come in and try to, with a V-blade dozer, to come in and pop all the stumps. So that guy said, yo, yeah, I popped all the stumps. And there's a huge mountain of stumps inside this pile of weeds. Well, then after that guy popped all the stumps, the owner came through with an excavator and a bulldozer, spent about 4 days in here and cleaned up even more stumps and roots. And then today I come in here and start digging, and I start finding stumps. Not too many, but plenty. And it really kind of sucks, because now these stumps have started to rot in the ground to where when I go to try to pull them out, they bust off all these roots and leave all these sticks sticking up. So I've taken off about 1 foot of topsoil, and then there's about 1 foot of this subsoil that's really mostly sandy. And then just over here, we're starting on the pond. Huh, buddy? What?
Can I?
Yeah, you can run up on that. So he said just take out 1 foot in here where the house is going to go, because he's going to build it all back with clay anyway, and he's going to put the house on piers. So the soil under the house really doesn't matter too much. But in here, you guys can kind of see some of the red right in there. So I'm hitting good clay at his place at only about 2 feet deep. At my place, which is just over there, just down the road, I'm 4 feet deep to get to this good clay. So it's kind of funny, you know, the elevation slopes up this way to where if you go about another half a mile that direction, your red clay is almost right at surface. So it's, you know, there used to be, it's kind of funny, there used to be a valley through my property, basically a creek. And over the thousands of years, it has more or less filled in with silt, you know, with this topsoil. And so now because of that, I have to dig deeper to get to the good red clay, and other people that are sort of what used to be the bank, they're sort of higher on the bank, they've got it shallower. So anyway, today we just kind of rough staked it. You can see there's a stake here. There's another stake. Y'all probably can't see it, but it's right back in here in the weeds. There's a little red flag on it. So that marks the northeast and northwest corners of his pond. And today I was just, this afternoon before I ran out of time, I was just starting to open up the pond, trying to get down to where I had access to some good clay for a solid base. And the hope is that tomorrow we'll get at least 1 dump truck. We don't have room for 2. We'll get at least 1 dump truck in here that will start helping shuttle this clay over here to the house pad. And he'll be, you know, dumping and spreading. The owner's got a compactor that's supposed to show up sometime. The skid loader that he rented's broke down, so that's not working. I offered to rent him the tractor just in a pinch. He could use the tractor until he gets a bulldozer or something to get in here. But anyway, so tomorrow we'll start in here hopefully with a dump truck to help, just so I'm not flipping as much. I'll be loading the dump truck with either clay or topsoil, either one. If he takes topsoil, he'll be trucking it further south on the property over here to fill in low spots. If he takes clay, then he'll just be putting it right here on the house pad. But regardless, anytime that I'm not loading the truck, I'll continue, you know, just baling topsoil just to keep opening things up and kind of shaping out the pond. So it's going to be a little haphazard for the first day or two till we get things, you know, really established. But I think by the end of the day tomorrow, it'll be a much better picture. Now I say end of the day, I'm working on this during the day between bus routes, so I can't start on it until about 8 a.m. if I come straight here after driving the bus. I can get started on about 8 a.m. and I've got to quit no later than about 2:45 to get back up and back on the bus for the afternoon route. But anyway, this is the beginnings of it. I mentioned at the start of the video there's going to be a lot more to come. His house is going to be here, just south of the house. He's putting up, to start with at least, 5 30 by 150 foot greenhouses. And he's going to be building a aquaponics operation here is the plan. He's already got the greenhouses ordered, so he's a lot. What are greenhouses? Yeah. They're special buildings with clear walls for growing plants. You know that. Anyway, so he's already got them ordered, so he's a heck of a lot further ahead than I would ever dream. But he's going to be raising tilapia. You know, those of you guys that are watching this channel, you're probably familiar with what aquaponics is. And it's kind of funny, you know, because I've got videos from years ago when we were raising tilapia, and I had an aquaculture set up in my greenhouse. I never did get it as far as doing the full aquaponics just because, well, yeah, there was a series of unfortunate events. But I ended up giving up on it. It wasn't that I was really quitting, but it just, I guess I lost interest in it, and I just didn't feel like fighting with it anymore. But anyway, he's going to be setting that up. So right out here, he's going to have this 150 by 150, basically, you know, big covered area that'll be all greenhouse. And he'll have tanks with the fish in them, and then a bunch of, you know, floating raft grow beds to be growing leafy greens and whatnot. And he's got all sorts of space further south if he wants to, that he can actually do, you know, open dirt gardens. So I'm really, really excited to be part of this, not just to do his dirt work, but because this guy's he's kind of doing the same thing that I want to do, you know. And so maybe if I don't have the nerve to do it myself, I can at least be part of it with him and help him. I think if this all goes well, I think we will remain friends, and we very well may become business partners. We'll just have to see. He could be a good outlet. He's got connections to selling produce. He could be a very good connection for me to expand my own farm and get more into wholesale, which I would like to do. It's not that I want to sell at wholesale pricing, but I want to get my own farm to a level that I am producing in wholesale quantities at least, and make it more of a revenue stream. So anyway, this is just kind of the start. Like I said, there's going to be house pad here. The pond, we're starting over there, and it's going to wrap around behind. There's kind of an artificial hill here that the last owner pushed up. So there's a big pile of topsoil in there, and there's also a great big pile of stumps. And I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do with all that just yet, as far as whether we're going to try to burn all the stumps or whether he's going to have me dig the pond extra deep and bury them. I gave him both options, you know. And he's got a big pile of topsoil too that really is what's right in the middle of what's going to be his backyard. So I think he's going to want to move that. And right now the plan is anything that we're wasting, any wasted topsoil, is all going to go out here to the south. His whole property just generally slopes very little, about a foot or two to the south towards me. So he doesn't really need any fill, you know. He doesn't really need any fill on this top end. If we get another, you know, Hurricane Harvey, you know, 45 inches of rain in 2 days, this property will flood. But in our average, you know, 10 to 12 inches overnight, this property really doesn't flood. I mean, it's wet, it holds water, but it won't be flooded underwater. The ditches can carry that much. But anyway, so he is going to raise some of this grade up top, just to kind of level things off, but it's not as important. The main goal is that all the waste will go, the wasted dirt will go down there. So anyway, I just want to introduce you guys to the project. Rosie's doing good. She dogged down a little bit on me, which she's always done that. I don't know why. Acts like it's starving for fuel. No matter what I do, I change filters, clean lines, it still acts like it's starving for fuel. So who knows? But we hit it hard today starting off. I only got about 5 hours into it, so it's not very impressive, but you know, we spent time staking corners and wandering around and kind of figuring things out. So anyway, tomorrow hopefully I can put a more solid day into it, and if we've got a truck in here, it'll be a big change tomorrow. I'll try to keep you guys updated. I don't know that I'll make updates every single day, but I will make updates on the project just to kind of show it off. Like I said, I'm really excited about it, and I hope that everything he wants to do comes to fruition, because it'll be really cool.